So if you remember from previous episodes, we had the idea of the death card, and this can be the end of something and you've got to go back to the very beginning, or you could decide you're going to make the best of what you've got so far and you're going to try and rebuild or excuse me, or regenerate what you've got here. And the next step would be temperance. So in order to resurrect what you had in the death card, you need to focus, among other things. That was one of the ideas for this card. And then the fool keeps wandering along, and the next person he meets, the next situation he meets is the devil. And this can be like a challenge, or the first challenge that you meet after the temperance card. So you're trying to get organized, and you're given a difficult situation represented by the devil. Because here it looks, there's the two people, chains around their neck. It's as if they're trapped. So they're unable to move. And it's a bit like, we get the sense that with the devil, the people, or you, if you're asking the question and the card comes up, you're under the control of somebody else, or you're under the control of something else, right? And so it's a bit like, an example of the devil in action might be, they say that you shouldn't go shopping for groceries when you're hungry, because you're hungry and everything looks good, so you end up buying stuff you don't need, you buy stuff you don't want, and a lot of it goes to waste. But the point about shopping like that, or going for groceries, is that your dominant thought, which is you're hungry, controls your actions. So it's as if you're going around the store and gathering stuff, but even though you appear to be moving freely, you're actually trapped within your mind and within a particular way of thinking, and a certain idea has got you under its control. If we take the word devil and spell it D-E-V-I-L, that's devil backwards, and it spells lived. So maybe the fool says to the fool can say to the devil card, you know, what are you all about? What can I learn from you? And maybe the devil says to the fool, you have to understand that your actions, your decisions, your thoughts, your activities in the past, which could be last week or over the last 10 years, your actions, your own actions got you here, got you into this situation. And let's say the devil represents a difficult situation. So you're trapped, and you get trapped because of your own actions and your own thoughts and your own decisions in the past. So don't blame other people. Don't blame conditions. Don't blame anybody else. Or if you do try and blame somebody else, you're never going to be free. You're never going to escape from the situation that the devil card represents. So that can be lived relating to the past. But if we take it, lived can also mean that after a few months you will have lived through the situation. It can be an indication that with the devil card, you have to stay with it, or stay with the situation, stay with the problem for a while, so you can grow out of it. And I think the important idea is you're meant to grow out of the situation. So you need to know more and understand more. And when you do that, or when you've done that, then you've got a chance of becoming free. So it's not like with the devil card, you can wave a magic wand, or one simple thing is going to change everything from black to white, let's say, or from difficulty to plain sailing. Because I don't think it's like that. So with the devil, and it being the idea of having lived, realize that it was your own thinking that got you into this situation, and at the same time your own thinking, or your improved, more knowledgeable thinking and decision making can get you, or will get you, out of the situation that you find yourself in at the moment. An idea for this card, a basic concept, we can say, it's being trapped. And so if we take a look at this, that's Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, and things are beautiful, sunny, things go well, things are taken care of, they're protected. But here, it's as if Adam and Eve are being thrown out of the Garden of Eden because they made mistakes, or for whatever reason. So it's, with the lovers, things go well. With the devil, they're in a tough situation, or they're having to struggle with difficult conditions or unpleasant work, and there's suffering connected with this card because they're trapped. And so the fool can say to the devil, okay, let's say I'm suffering. How do I solve the problem? How do I become free? And there are many answers to this, but one is that we experience pain or we suffer when what we think should be isn't the same as what is, right? So you can think, or the questioner can think, okay, I work hard, I ought to be rich, or I should be rich, but I'm not, and so I suffer, I'm in pain because of it, right? Because what you think ought to be, for whatever reason, isn't what's actually going on. So with the devil, because there's a sort of disconnection between what you think should be and what actually is, go to what is. So maybe what you do with the devil, or with the problem shown by the devil card, is make a list of the facts to do with the situation. Write down what is, what the facts are, what is actually going on, and work with the facts. Instead of thinking about what should be or what ought to be, whenever you begin to think this shouldn't be happening, stop thinking like that and deal with what actually is, because there's enough good, or there's enough goodness in what the facts are and what really is, that you can build a strong building, let's say, on top of the facts. And the thing is, because you're dealing with the facts and what actually is going on and what's real, then what you build is going to last. Whereas if you try to build on what you think ought to be or what should be, it's not going to be as strong or as stable or as long-lasting as it would be if you would only deal with the facts as they are. So today is the middle of May. It's the 14th, I think, of May. And there are daffodils outside. And as I look at them today, they're not in very good shape. They were much better shape 3 weeks ago. So it's as if they're disintegrating and falling apart or shutting down. They're going to come back next spring, but it's as if they're shutting down. So with the daffodils at the moment, and with any kind of situation when the devil appears, there's what appears to be going on and what's really going on. And with the devil, always go with what's really going on and dismiss what appears to be going on. Don't be taken in by appearances. Don't be taken in by the surface impression and what appears to be happening, but always look for and relate to the truth of the situation. And then you'll be free, and then you'll be safe, and then you'll be protected. So think of these daffodils that are withering outside. If I take the human position and look at the daffodils, it's sad, you know, they're dying, they're disintegrating, they're falling apart. It's the end of life. At least that's what appears to be going on. But if I look at these daffodils from the point of view of nature, then what's happening is there's a transition taking place. So we're going from one form, because the daffodils have the bulb under the ground and the flowers above. But the form is changing, and the life energy, let's say, has gone back into the bulb, knowing that it's going to be available to express itself above ground next spring, right? So from the point of view of nature, there's a change. There is no disintegration. There is no death for nature. That's not what's happening. There is no ending. So there is no reason for sadness. So when you've got a situation with the devil, if you look from the point of view of what you think should be going on, or what's fair, what really ought to be happening, what's just, for instance, you're going to get sucked into illusion and sucked into not dealing with what's really going on. So with the devil, go to what the facts are. So with the devil card, whatever the question or whatever the problem, taking the human thought position leads to misunderstanding. So you're better off, or there's success, there's freedom, if you understand what's really going on. And then build on the facts, build on the reality of the situation. That's easy for me to say. How do you do this? All you need to do is say to yourself, I want to understand what's really going on. And if you mean it, and if you listen to the thoughts that come into your head, you're going to get an answer. The answer's always going to be there. That's a couple of points about the devil.